But this is not just an issue about language. It's just also about maybe the context and the culture of the area. For sure, US is not the same as Europe, and Europe is not the same as uh, like South America. And every part of the world has his own culture and his own context.
Hello, Carlos. How are you?
Hello, Oscar. Not bad, not bad. You?
Not too bad. Not too bad myself. Yeah, I'm very happy to have you here. We met, I think it was like last year at an event or something.
Yeah, I think that in October or something like that, like 4 or 5 months
Hmm.
ago, in an event there in Madrid. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And I was quite shocked when I met you, and I wanted to know more about what you do at Nazaries. So this is why you're here. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you have ended up founding or co-founding Nazaries and being the CIO.
Yeah, sure. It's like we found this company like 15 years ago, so it's been a while.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a while by now.
Hmm.
I'm very focused in innovation and strategy of the company. We are a technology company, so we are
Hmm.
like changing every 2 years or 3 years. It's like the
Hmm.
whole context is changing, so we need to innovate a lot in order to go ahead with the
Hmm.
market, with the new needs and with the new trends of the world in the technology. So it's like I'm passionate of technology, and also we have been working for these 15 years with SaaS companies around the world. So I
Hmm.
love to be with disruptive SaaS company that have an idea and they can put that idea in the hands of everyone in the world, maybe for B2B for companies or for B2C for final customers. But
Hmm.
it's nice to be in this kind of movement about create the
Hmm.
technology and the future and cover the future needs of the people. Yeah.
Wow, interesting. I think definitely the SaaS area is kind of like booming lately. And how have you or why did you decided to go for this specific field?
Well, it's like I love to work with entrepreneurs and with the startups and these kind of things because they are like people with a disruptive idea that is changing maybe one sector of the market and this kind of thing, and be this kind of imaginative ideas to create new businesses is very nice. I love it. For sure, we cannot live just from entrepreneurs and startups. So we used to work with
Hmm.
companies and scale ups and these kind of things that are working around the world. But it's like from the very beginning, we have started with this startup company creating products, creating SaaS products. So we are creating this kind of things and also helping these kind of companies to grow, to go to the
Hmm.
next step and this kind of thing. And I think that the mix between technology and market fit is something
Hmm.
that we love to do.
Uh-huh. Because precisely, and what do you exactly do at Nazaries? How do you help these scale ups or startups,
Yeah,
SaaS companies around the world?
yeah, it's like we say that we are power apps for those companies because they have their own teams to grow and these kind of things, but usually they used to need another companies with experience doing this kind of maybe technology or customer success to cover the L1 or L2 support for the customers. So
Hmm.
we are like a very technology company that is helping those SaaS companies in both ways.
Hmm.
One way is helping in the technology field. It's like
Uh-huh.
creating new features or creating the product or creating new things for that product to grow. And
Uh-huh.
also in the customer success team, if they are maybe if we are talking about going to another countries and these kind of things, maybe your current team is confident talking his own language or these kind of companies in their country. But when they want to go to another country, there is another language. Maybe they need to do video conferences with customers, emails, chats, these kind of things. And we provide this kind of support for them, so they can go. Maybe if this is a French company going to Italy to experiment in that market, we can assist them with an Italian person talking in Italian, but knowing about technology, in order to be this front desk for that company in Italy, in order to have the gap between the customer and your team could be the lower possible. So we are going to be your front as level 1 and level 2 support for those customers, and we are going to provide you the feedback. So you can say that we are in Italy and we have Italian people working into the team.
Wow, quite interesting. So I reckon that you work with a lot of agents, no, from very different countries. And what about your clients? Are they like Spain based, European based, US based? What's your main
Yeah.
focus?
Yeah, well, here in Nazaries Intelligenia, we have like the 60% of our revenue is coming from outside of Spain, mostly
Huh?
from Europe and the US, and the 40% is coming from Spain. And as we are providing this technological support to grow the SaaS solutions, many of those SaaS solutions born in Europe, maybe in French, in UK, in Germany, and these kind of things. Another part is growing and are being created in the US. So for us, there is a big market outside of Spain, but also to help them to go from one country to another, doing this customer success support in several languages. Because here we have like nine languages, people with 9 languages, but we are not offering the 9 languages in a 24/7 support. In 24/7 support, we give like 5 main languages, which is the bigger one. But then we have other languages, maybe for commercial time zone and this kind of things. But yes, it's like we are very used to work with people around the world. We are very used to that. We love it. We
Very,
love it.
very interesting. So, related to this L1, L2 support, can you very briefly explain to the audience what's the difference? Because someone who is not in your area, in like in the customer success field, may not know what what L1, L2 means. So, can you tell
Sure.
us a little bit about this?
So this kind of support is given. Figure out that you are a SaaS company and you have customers, mostly B2B customer, because you need to provide special support to customers that are also businesses, because they can have maybe issues with your tool and they need to go on and to work with the tool. So they can have incidences with using the SaaS product. Okay, so this is like a technical problem. They have this technical problem and they don't know what's happening, but the tool is not working as they expect to do. Okay, so they need to talk with the customer success team in order to solve this issue. So the first step is going to be the level 1. Level 1 are people that knows about technology, but it doesn't need to be the main focus of the conversation, because the main part of the conversation is understanding what's happening. What's your problem? What are you trying to do? Because many times the incidents used to be because maybe your computer doesn't have installed these kind of things. Oh, maybe you are trying to do this, pressing that button, but it's not that button, it's the next one. So they used to be like easy things to solve that could be solved by L1 people, that are people that knows a lot about the software solution, about the SaaS solution you are using. They knows how to use it a lot, so they can provide you assistance about how to use the tool to have the current experience. But what happens if the tool is not working really as expected, or there are something that is not just how to use the tool? So in that point, this incident is scaled to the L2 to the level 2 support. In that point, you are going to talk with people that are more technologists. So they are going to understand in a better way the technology, what is happening maybe in the computer, and maybe the communication between your computer and the servers. Maybe he's going he's going to go deeper into the problem in order to decide if this is something that can be solved in that point, or it is something that needs to be solved in the tool, because it is really a problem in it, maybe a little problem, but it needs to be solved. So this L2 is going to be able to talk with the engineers if this is a real problem. So these engineers that are going to solve the problem in the SaaS, if this is a real problem in the product, they are going to be the L3, okay? But the L3 is like engineers developing solution in the software already. So what we used to provide is the L1 and L2, and then if there is a real incident in the tool, we are going to communicate that to the L3 of the company in order to solve the solution, to solve the problem, and then we are going to communicate back to the customer to say, hey, try again because now it is solved. But this is like the way to go in a bigger step by step. You are increasing the seniority or maybe the knowledge about the technology in the people. So
Of
we
course,
can try
yeah.
this kind of steps.
Wow, it's kind of like, because like providing this sort of like customer success or support to many different countries and languages and cultures, what has culture differences and all these things uh impact the customer experience? What's the real deal here? Because I reckon that US companies are very different from French ones or German ones, or their audiences are very different from each other. So
Yeah.
how do you tackle all these mess about
Yeah,
this providing customer experience?
yeah. At the end of the day, it's like let's focus in that when a customer reach customer success team is because they have a problem. Okay, so they are not maybe very happy, or they want to solve the problem, and in that point, okay, many people can maybe talk in English. Not all of them. Here in Europe, we have a lot of languages, and not all the people are fluent in English. But in the case you are fluent in English, okay, but you are having a problem with a technology tool, and you are not a technologist. So it's like there are two things on the table. If you need to reach a customer success team that is speaking in English, and that in English, maybe they are in India, maybe it's usual that a US company has an Indian company to provide the customer success team and this L1, L2, and these kind of things. So in that point, if you need to talk with an Indian guy to solve this problem, you have two problems now, because you have you have one problem, but two more problems. It's like you need to speak in English, which maybe you are not fluent, or maybe you are, but it's not your mother tongue language. But also you are talking about technology, and you are not a technologist. So there are like three things: my problem, the language, and the technology. So here is like, okay, let's avoid the first one. We can speak with you with a person that is from French. So he is going to speak with you about this problem you have in the technology. I'm going to, as we are technologists, we are going to don't talk about technology. I'm going to talk in your language, in your sector, in looking at your tool in order to understand what's happening, and let's avoid also talking about technology. We can cope with that. But this is not just an issue about language. It's just also about maybe the context and the culture of the area. For sure, US is not the same as Europe, and Europe is not the same as like South America. And every part of the world has his own culture and his own context. There are things happening here in Europe that are not happening in the US. I mean, maybe in political issues, maybe because of the economic area and this kind of thing. So when you talk with a customer, you are not going to understand just the specific words they are telling to you about the problem. Is you are going to put the context around, and you are going to understand better why this customer is trying to do that. So it is not working as he expects. Maybe a person which is in India or in the US, it's going to be harder for them to understand everything because they don't have the context. And when you are working with customers, you need to have the context. And for sure, even more, if your customer are also businesses, because maybe your customer is a company with, I don't know, 500 people that is managing a business, and every hour that the tool is not working as expected is creating a pain in that company. So, hey, let's go to be near them, to understand them in a better way in order to avoid the for and back with them, and go with a straight solutions and with good solution in the first shot.
Yeah, I mean, definitely customer success and customer support is very important, but especially when we're talking about B2B and all these like very big companies selling software around the world, no? What about, because customer success and customer support also has to do a lot with retention strategies. What's the key here? Because again, it must be very different talking about specific retention strategies that work very good in the US, but not really in certain countries in Europe. What's the deal here?
Yeah, here the deal, because the customer success team has two main focus. The first one is for sure solve the problems of the customer. So the customer can work with the tool and they are happy with the tool and these kind of things. But the other part is the feedback that goes back to the company. Because at the end of the day, the customer success team is very near of the market. They are talking with the customer every day. So they know their needs. Maybe the customer they have a need that is not covered by the tool, so they cannot expect the tool should do that because it's not covered, and that's all. But if you hear a lot of times, hey, and is the tool doing these kind of things? Oh no, the tool is not doing that. Okay, thank you. But if you hear that many times, you need to provide that information back to the company so they can decide if they change the tool in order to cope with those needs. So in this part, if you have a customer that is working with you and with your tool for 1 year or 2 years, and they see that your tool is not evolved or is not covering their needs, at the end of the day, they are going to go to another solution that is covering more needs. So this feedback, continuous feedback, to increase the functionalities of the tool, of the SaaS product, in order to cover all these needs, they are going to give a high value to the customers, because the customer is going to say, figure it out. In one point in the time, they're going to say, oh, is the tool going to do that? Oh, no, the tool is not doing this kind of functionality. We are focusing in that area of the company, but we are not covering that other part of the company, and that's okay, because you are paying for what you are paying. But if I come to you 4 months after that and I tell you, hey, you remember that 4 months ago you asked about this kind of functionality? We want to tell you that the functionality is now there, and thank you for your feedback. This kind of things is going to increase your retention a lot, because the customer is going to say, okay, I'm part of this. And if I need something, they are going to that point. Maybe they are not covering every need I say, but few of them are going on. So they feel that they can be with you for a long time, for long term. Because at the end of the day, if it is something that is not covered today, they know that if they go to you and they tell you what are their needs, the sooner or the later, maybe that functionality is going to be there. So it's very important in that part that not just the customer success team is not just solving problems, but also giving feedback to increase the SaaS solution features, and then going back to the customer to tell them
Mm-hmm.
6 months later, do you remember that conversation? Now you have it. This is very powerful if you have all of this together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting. But do you think that there are any, like, the client expectations vary from one country to another? Let's say, imagine I am a user of a certain SaaS and I'm Spanish, and you are another user and you're, I don't know, German. Do do I expect something different from what you expect, or is it like because of like the SaaS, it's like global, we expect the same kind of things, if you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that maybe in the first stages of every SaaS solution is like the functionality is what it is, and for everyone is the same. But as they are growing, you need to adapt your SaaS solution to every country, because every country has a different culture, but not just a different culture. It's a different way of doing the things and different regulations. Here in Europe, every country has a lot of different regulations and a different way of doing the things. So it's like, okay, in the first stage, you can adapt yourself to
Mm-hmm.
do in the same way as the tool is providing service. But at the end of the day, you are going to put in value if the tool is making it easy to do something that is very near to the way you are doing the things in your country. Maybe this is also because of the tools that are in your company in your country, because maybe in Spain there are several tools to do the accounting. There are maybe 10 main tools to do the accounting in the company. For sure, they are going to be different from a Germany country and for French. So your SaaS product maybe needs to integrate with those 10 tools, and they are going to be different from the German one and different from the
Mm-hmm.
Italian one. And this is just about integrations and tools. So this is something you need to provide step by step. But also maybe the people think they think different. Maybe the way we do one thing is different, but from the way that maybe a French or a German guy is doing the same thing. And you need to understand how do you think, how do you proceed in order to create this kind of little things in your SaaS product that makes the big differences. Because at the end of the day, everything, I think that everything, not just in technology, but in any part of our life, is a lot of little things. It's not just
Mm-hmm.
big things, but a lot of little things is what makes the difference.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Those little details are the ones that make or break, a strategy or a company. Because at the end of the day, as we were just like saying, like off camera, customer success has also a lot to do with sales. No,
Yeah.
what's the local things happening here, and what's the relationship with between customer success and sales, or customer success as a sales driver?
Yeah, well, there are maybe few things that can work together within sales and customer success. Because
Hmm.
well, one part is like if the customer success team is working with your current customers, so they are used to being the day by day with them. Maybe the sales team came in the very first part of the relationship, and once the agreement is synced, the salespeople are going to another new customer. But this customer that is with us for 2 years, the salespeople are not there. It's the customer success team who is there. So you can detect new needs, or maybe you can tell the customer that they can improve the performance if they buy the next license of the product or the new
Hmm.
feature that are in the product. So the customer success team can detect opportunities in those customers to increase the ticket. So they can
Hmm.
say to the sales people, hey, in this customer, they are facing these challenges or those challenges. Maybe you can go there and offer this new license or this new product we also have that can cover those needs, and we can increase the ticket in those customers. But also, there are, we in the customer success team, we also used to do maybe the onboardings of new customers. Okay. And if you're talking about B2B, if you are a customer starting using one tool, it's like you are not starting from zero, because maybe you are using another tools to do the same things in a different way, but you don't like them anymore because you are growing and they are not covering your current needs. So you need to move to a new tool. Okay. And in that moment, when you are moving to a new tool, you need to migrate the data. You need to configure the new tool to fit your company, and there are work to do there. In that point, maybe the salesperson can tell to that new customer that our tool is going to be perfect for their needs and this kind of things. But it's very powerful also to say, and a local person, a person who is, maybe if we're talking about Europe, a person in Europe talking your language, which is also from your country, is going to assist you during the onboarding process. So you're not going to be alone in order to use the tool, to start using the tool, but one person is going to assist you during the first 2 weeks to migrate the information, to configure everything, to teach your people how to use the tool. So to do this soft landing into the tool. And this is a powerful message for a sales department to create new customers. Because if you don't have this local team speaking in your language and knowing your culture, your context, and these kind of things, and you say, and I'm going to say again, a US company that have this Indian company for the customer success is, and you say, hey, don't worry, an Indian guy is going to assist you to migrate your information and to do whatever. And you say, wow, so I'm going to talk with an Indian guy, which is not in Europe. So maybe what kind of information is going to see that person? Maybe this is out of the regulation of the RIDB of compliance in data in Europe. So there are many concerning about this kind of thing. Am I going to understand this person? Or maybe I do, but I need this person talk with other people of my company, the head of different departments, to fit the tool into their department. And I know that 2 or 3 of them are not fluent in English. So these kind of things make a difference between the decision of using one tool or another, who is going to help you, not just in the onboarding, but also in the next months if you have any problem. If you know that the customer success team is in your area, you feel more confident about that tool, because it's okay, at the end of the day, there are people near that can assist me. At the end of the day, they are not going to visit you, or you are not going to visit them. So this is not the point. But you feel that maybe you can. In the case you will do that, but you are never going to do that, but you feel that you can. So this kind of things gives the sales department more tools to increase the capacity of sales and to reach new customers.
And just before we continue, I'm just thinking about, what do you think, or what's your take on AI on all these customer success? Is it going to replace humans at all? Is it going to complement? Is it going to empower them? Because, depending on the sector, the AI is like really impacting a lot, especially, for example, in my area, related to localization, etc. So what's your take at Nazaries on how are you leveraging this AI emergence into your company, whether it is as the like developing like new features, technical features, or in the customer success?
Yeah, the other day, the AI is there and is going to change everything. So I think that the AI is going to empower every person in every company at the end of the day. If we talk about the customer success team, for sure there are a lot of questions from customers that are very easy questions to answer. So in this kind of questions, we can automate with AI what to say, or maybe not responding directly, but proposing the answer to the agent. So they can just check the answer and say, okay, yeah, it's good enough. Because you are talking in the B2B context, it's important to don't give wrong answer to a company, because this is very, very worse for your brand. So, but the AI can propose a solution, or can propose maybe two solutions to the problem. So maybe in this point, the agent is going to perform better. So it's going to increase more value in the same time. Also, this is very, 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 very important maybe in new profiles. If you are starting working with a new company, figure out that a US company wants to come to Europe and they hire our team to do the customer success and these kind of things. Maybe 3 years ago, it took maybe 3 months of the people to understand very well the tool in order to give that support to the customer, because you need to know the tool perfectly.
Yeah,
But
perfectly.
now,
Yeah.
yeah, but now this time are decreasing. Why? Because you can have an AI knowing the tool, knowing the manuals, knowing how it works, and knowing a lot of things. So this person who is starting in this SaaS solution can ask to the AI, hey, this problem that the customer is telling to me, and I don't know about that module, about that functionality, how it should work. So maybe these kind of things. I remember that 2 years ago, if one agent is facing a problem in an area that is not used to work with, it's like, okay, I'm not very familiar with this module of the SaaS product and this kind of thing. It can take maybe 4 hours about, okay, I'm going to reach how it works and the information of the product. I'm going to see another similar experiences at the point until the point you feel confident about the answer you are going to provide to the customer. But now with the AI, maybe this is something like maybe 15 minutes or 20 minutes. It's like, okay, you are going to ask to the AI. The AI is going to give you 2-3 ways to solve the problem. You are going to go to the tool. You are going to test those solutions in order to be sure which one is the best one for that customer, and then you are going to provide the solution to the customer. So it is going to increase the performance of the team. So at the end of the day, this means that you can give more value for less money at the end of the day. And this is talking about customer success. If we go back to the development team, creating technology, creating new features or new products, for sure it is also going to help. This is something that is going to help maybe in the easier tasks, because the easier tasks can be solved by AI. So the engineers are going to focus in the hard part of the systems, of the features, and this
Like
kind of
more
things.
the strategy, no? The
For sure, strategy, knowing about the knowledge about the problem you are solving, and also the complex thing about software, about development, architecture, and these kind of things. But then the easy tasks are going to be in an 90% covered by the AI. But again, it's like the AI is going to say, this should be a good solution for that. But then you need to have an engineer to check that solution, because many times the solution is not perfect. You can't have something that is not perfect in a
Of
product.
course. Yeah. Yeah, because then when you have something that is not perfect, then shit happens, no? What,
Yeah.
according to
If
your
you know that you
experience,
have a medical issue, you can go maybe to Google or to ChatGPT and ask, oh, I have a
yeah.
pain here or there. And it is going to say, oh, maybe you have that and you need to do this, and that. And you can follow that. Perfectly okay. But maybe it's better if you also go to a doctor in order to say, oh, I have this, what could be? And they say, oh, this kind of pain should be this, and that. But taking into account your history, taking into account that you have this genetic issue in your family and these kind of things, like
Whatever. Yeah.
whatever, maybe it's not going to be this thing, which is the 80% probability to be that, but the other one, which is just 20, but giving all the context makes sense is the other one. So are you going to put your health in hands of the AI, or maybe the AI is going to help the doctors to perform better? Maybe it's that. I think
Because
that
no,
the
no, it's
micro
okay.
is well, okay, perfect.
Yeah, the according to your experience, what's the big pitfalls when a SaaS wants to expand and they do it wrong? What do you think is the main problem there? What's the most common problems when a SaaS want to expand internationally and they don't do it right?
Yeah, I think that maybe there are the first part maybe is the language, the localization of the tool, because many times I've seen a lot of SaaS solution that first of all they are written in English, and because maybe they are US solutions and in the UK and these kind of things, and when they think, okay, I'm going to go global, it's like, okay, English is a common language and everyone is speaking English, so I go with English everywhere. And this is one problem because not every country speaks English, it's not the mother tongue. So you need to adapt your tool to those countries. But also, talking about this language is easy. I've seen a lot of tools maybe made in Spanish. They translate or they localize the application in Spanish, and they say, okay, if we are in Spanish, we can go to Spain and also to a lot of countries in America, in Latin America, and this kind of thing. But every country that speaks Spanish speak a different Spanish. So it's like, okay, maybe all of them are very similar, but you need to create the language for a correct country. Because at the end of the day, as I said before, little changes make big difference. So if a person from, I don't know, from Argentina is reading your product and this product is not using their language, but maybe the Spanish language, the official one, or something like that, but not their language, they are going to feel that you are not there. You are not in Argentina. You are in another part of the world. So if they are comparing your product with another that are speaking in their real Spanish from Argentina, they are going to feel that maybe that product is here in Argentina. The people is here. They do have people here. So I feel more confident to use this product than this other that is not here. Because if you feel that a product is not in your country, one way or another, you don't know if maybe in 1 year or in 2 years, they are going to decide to go out. Because at the end of the day, they are not there. Because maybe they are testing the market and then they go back. But you are using the product for your company. You are putting all your information there and you want to work with that in a long term. So you used to go to the tool that make those little differences because it's important to you. So maybe this is one part. And the other part is to have people talking in your language and in your area, because it's a very powerful tool to say that I do have people near to you and we are there to assist you. If you need, we can have a meeting or a in-person meeting. We can send you a person to help you with the onboarding. These kind of things is very powerful, but it's very expensive in the beginning. If you are thinking that maybe you are an US company and you want to come to Europe, so you want to go to UK, to French, to Germany, to Italy, to Spain, and you need to put one person in each one to cover the customer success. This is very expensive because it's like in one shot you want to try Europe and you need to hire 10 people. But if you hire maybe a local company which is providing this kind of support, and so we are used to do this kind of support, it's like you don't need to hire 10 people, just a service, and we are give to you this virtual team, so you can say you are there, and you are going to have the feedback, the real feedback of the customers. Why? Because you have a French person talking with your French customer in their language, and they are going to talk not just about the issue, but also they are going to have side talks. They are going to talk something in the beginning, they are going to talk about the weather or who knows, and also at the end. And these kind of things create confidence, create maybe information that can goes back to the headquarters and can help you take decision to grow better in French or to grow better in each country. So this kind of things is what gives you the information that allows you to grow healthy in one country.
Definitely. Huh? Uh, I cannot be more agree with you, obviously, on this. The importance of localization in
Yeah.
software, I mean, yes, of course. And then also in customer experience, no? And in customers. I think more or less that we've covered everything I wanted to talk
Yeah.
to you. I think that we have like a bit like a now I have like a better picture of what you do at Nazaries. By the way, why this naming?
Well, Nazaries, this is we born in Granada. Granada is in the south of Spain, and here it
Uh-huh.
was like the Nazari kingdom from the Muslim
Okay.
back like 1,000 years ago. So here the Nazari name is very common around the city, and we started with that like
Ah.
15 years ago, and that's why.
Okay. Okay. I was just curious. Um, so, Carlos, now we are just like at the end of the episode. What about? I'm gonna ask you the two typical questions I ask every in each episode. What's or tell us a anecdote that has happened to you, whether in your personal or professional life, related to languages or translation or communication pitfalls.
Sure, I think that as I said before, it's like it's very important if you have your application in Spanish, but you are going to Latin America, you
Hmm.
need to localize it also for each country. It's because
Hmm.
I've seen many times when you create application, you have very short words, maybe for a button,
Hmm.
maybe something. You don't have big paragraphs in an application. You have just short thing, very, very straightforward and this kind of things. So many times, if you go to one country or another, the same word means different things. And many times, if you go from Spain to Mexico or to Argentina, you are using Spanish words that can mean very different things there, and you can face situations where the people is not using your application, is they have problem, they don't know why you do that, until you understand that you are using a bad word in that country. Because
Hmm.
there are words that maybe in Spain means something very normal, but maybe in Mexico means something very tough. So
Uh-huh.
these kind of things are very important. That's why I'm very focused in localizing the application for every country, even if it is the same language. But every country has their own meanings,
Hmm.
and more, even more when you have short text, just words, buttons,
Hmm.
and this kind of things. Because if you have more paragraphs, maybe you have context, and you can say, okay, maybe this is not meaning these tough things. But if you have short text, you can have this kind of misunderstanding.
I do definitely agree. You know, UX localization and microcopy is so important. So we
Yeah.
need to take care and do it by professionals, obviously. Uh, and what about my last question is who would you like to see here speaking with me about international business or localization, anything or any company that you think that could provide like a good episode to the audience?
Well, I do know a person who is managing a SaaS product already,
Uh-huh.
and he started a few years ago here in Spain.
Uh-huh.
I remember that a few months ago he told me that they are thinking about going abroad to other countries and so on. Their SaaS company is focusing in signing contracts, is that digital signing contracts and this kind of
Okay.
okay.
Uh-huh.
So I think that they are not started yet, but they are thinking about that.
Uh-huh.
Their name is Firmafy, so
Uh-huh.
I can put you in contact with them for sure and explore that opportunity to talk about
Yeah.
how many times it's important to not just to have the experience of someone that already did that internationalization, but also how do you think you can do that? Because many
Uh-huh.
times a lot of people can feel the same. Oh, I am thinking of doing the same thing, but
Mm-hmm.
then you can have conversation in the social media about, oh, don't do that, or maybe you can try this other
Mm-hmm.
way to do things, and it opens how to do that.
That's very interesting. Yeah. I think it could provide like a lot of like value to the audience, not to see as well how to uh, get into another country and what type of content are we talking about, what type of services we have to take into account. I think it could be like a very good episode. Thank you very much, and I'll be
Yeah.
waiting for this contact. Carlos, it's been a super pleasure. I had so much fun, and I enjoyed, and I do agree. That's why you're here on everything you said. You know, the importance of localization, the importance of customer success, speaking their own language, like having local teams. So I can only say thank you very much, and it's been
Thank
a
you,
pleasure.
Oscar. You made it quite easy to do, very fluent, and it's been very interesting to have this meeting for talking about these international issues in businesses. It's wonderful.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you, Carlos. I'll be seeing you very soon.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye.